Coming up today, we're talking about commitment, boys, or lack of it. Men, what's the story? This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, and we got a couple guests. Josh Vernon, Rich in a comment, joining us this morning, and Jory Jansen. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle appeals, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, John.
If the lady's saying that, you're just
That's a super
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that
There we go, everybody. What's morning? Good morning. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Another day, another session of high energy conversation. Yeah, baby, insights and maybe just a little bit of controversy. Just a reminder, if you got kids in the room, you better put the headphones in or walk them out of the room or just tell them they're going to learn some things today. They're going to learn things they didn't think they know about, or they're going to learn things their parents didn't tell them about. Yeah. Today, a packed show coming up. Let's get right into it. Arnold Schwarzenegger says you can unlock incredible benefits with just 1 minute of exercise. Yeah. 1 minute? Really? We're going to ask Anderson about that coming up this morning. Really? And speaking of science, researchers have identified a protein. Yeah, I said a protein, not a protein. A protein that can actually reverse muscle loss from aging. Huge for anyone trying to stay strong as they get older. The big question is, how soon can we get our hands on that? And Josh Vernon joins us for Center Stage. We're going to dig into the mindset of a triathlete, endurance sports, and what it takes to push past the limits. And of course, we're going to talk about something nobody likes to discuss, but everybody should, which is, of course, your poop schedule. Yeah, you heard me correctly, boys. We're talking about poop this morning. Listen, that's the kind of stuff we have here in the lab. Studies say your gut health, major predictor of overall well-being. Duh. So what's normal? What's a red flag? We're going to get into that later today. And you ever wonder why some relationships, Johnny, just don't work while others seem to click at the perfect time? Well, that's the taxi cab theory. Timing might be the only thing that matters. You know, a taxi cab showing up here, showing up there, showing up everywhere. And while we're on the subject of relationships, boys, let's talk about how to disagree without being disrespectful. The internet is listening. It's a battlefield of just trolls and anger and negative stuff, and people just seem to have forgotten how to argue like adults. We're going to break down practical ways to keep debates productive, whether online or in real life. Then we're going to dive into 8 common fears that men have about commitment. Yes, boys, fear of losing freedom, fear of failure, fear of picking the wrong person. We got all these fears. We don't want to make commitment. We're going to break it down, get real about what holds men back from breaking things down. And for a protein break, we got a few things to throw on the table today. We're going to talk morning coffee. We're going to pick up the conversation we had from a couple days ago about what do you accept that is real about facts that we're learning about everything today on the internets. There's information here and there and everywhere. Finally, in Reloaded, we're going to revisit a story that might be sparking some controversy. It's about seeds. The seeds of food, frankly. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault. It's meant to be humanity's insurance policy for food security, but some people think it's hiding something bigger. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Rich and Akana is here in the community corner to celebrate someone for the Creator Spotlight. Guys, we got a full show here. Jimmy, I'm sweating like a mofo after my big run this morning. My body is still getting figured out with the heat. So let's bring in the boys while I get myself a towel to keep toweling off. What's going on, Mr. Anderson? How you feeling today, brother?
You know, I'm feeling a little better today. Although last night I didn't know, man. I tell you, this thing really sneaks up at nighttime.
Yeah, well, I got your message last night, and I saw your note. You're like, "Yeah, man, I don't know if I'm beating this thing." So, what happened last night that kind of prompted the you don't know?
Well, I wake up, I've been going to sleep early. I've been getting actually really good sleep, and Terry's been running a humidifier in the room, which is keeping everything moist. So my throat, I'm not waking up hacking, which is good. I don't hack till later in the day, But then by 5 o'clock, man, it's just whooping my ass. Like my nose is completely plugged. I feel like I'm in an airplane, like where I got pressure in my ears, but I can't get it out.
Oh man.
And so it's almost like I fill the gas tank up, but then it empties out faster than I'm used to. So
I got to be honest, you sound better today. I get a sense you got a little bit more energy today. You sound
I feel pretty good. You know, I mean, there's no question about it. I feel like I'm good, but I can tell that I'm not better. So I'm gonna tag the throttle today, realizing that when I feel myself slowing down, that I'm gonna let myself slow down.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, the bottom line is it's not. Let's be honest. I'm not throwing up. I'm not shitting my pants every few minutes. I'm keeping my nutrients and my fluids. So it's just a pain in my ass. The problematic thing is I'm just not as efficient mentally. So I'm not working at the same capacity. So I'm getting a little behind, but you know, shit happens. Most people, this is where they disengage.
What you're actually saying is, Keith,
I'm not actually a whiny little baby this morning. I'm feeling okay, but I'm not feeling that bad. I'm actually okay. I'm going to fucking tough through it.
I know you, brother. I just know you. I've been around with you long enough to know that you're like, I am not dead. There's something.
No, I mean, that's what I do every day. Christ, man. Like I said, if I'm in, there's probably, I only get sick to where I'm throwing up. Probably like, God, I can't remember the last time. Every 3, 4, 5 years. It's like, it's usually some sort of like
I'm the same way.
Flu or something like that, or you know. But the bottom line is, and even then, I'll take a short break for that. But that's just because I can't be doing what I'm doing, fucking throwing up on my computer.
Good morning, Dugan. I see you there in the comments. We have not had Jack Dugan for a while, Mr. Anderson. Jack's been busy doing his thing. Actually, Johnny, I don't fucking know what the hell Jack Dugan's been doing. Dugan, what are you doing, man? Like, are you working? Are you sitting around? Are you walking? Are you like Dugan? You gotta let us. You've kind of just you got this new job, John. You get this new job. He's like gone. I don't know, man. Maybe he's just, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out. See what he's up to. But Johnny, listen, Arnold Schwarzenegger has come out there and said that the 60-second secret to a stronger heart and a life, which is just you can train for 1 minute. Man,
brother, I so agree with that. I was like, I heard you say that, and I was like, if I had 1 minute a day, I know exactly what I would do.
So science says, Johnny, that just 1 minute of intense movement a day can cut your risk of heart failure by 40%.
And you can get in better shape. You can be happier. There's so many benefits that come from busting your ass for 60 seconds. It's unbelievable.
So even Schwartzy, our old good buddy Arnold Schwarzenegger, had to adapt. Multiple heart surgeries, Johnny. We know his story, right? His message is clear. Move smart, eat right, stay consistent. The power of 1 minute. Here's the study, Johnny. A study tracked 22,000 sedentary people for 8 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 1 minute of intense activity like running up the stairs, it cut heart failure risk by 40%.
Yeah, that's, and the thing about it is that just from the mental perspective, when you bust your ass, like this morning, perfect example, I needed my fix. So I got on Terry's stair climber. Man, the dyslexia is kicking when I'm not feeling well. Terry's stair climber. Terry's stair climber. And dude, I put that thing on level 10. And I rocked until I was going to get spit off the back. Then I pumped it down to level 5. Yeah. And then just held on until I had a total of 10 minutes. And granted, that's 10 minutes. But just that first minute at level 10, I could have got off there and felt fucking great. And my brain is just cascading the chemicals that make me feel good into my bloodstream. Cascading.
Well, so listen, 3.5 minutes daily, Johnny, a 67% lower chance of heart failure.
Yeah.
So, man, what does this all mean for you? Well, Johnny, we know. Just get up and get moving. Movement creates momentum. You don't need hours in the gym. Just move with purpose.
And you could do 1 day, do push-ups straight for a minute. 1 day, do squats for a minute. Just pick something and do it for 60 seconds hard, and you're going to be fine.
Dude, we all know how much I fucking hate running. I run Mondays and Fridays, and I hate it, but I do it because it just stimulates the old amygdala. So today, okay, I got a 45-minute run here today. You know how I broke it up, brother? I did an intervals run. So 45 minutes is easy to do when you break it up into like 3-minute chunks along the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, 45 minutes. I'm going to do 3 minutes here, 7 minutes there. I ran with somebody I really enjoyed running with on the Peloton platform, Matt Wilpers. Johnny, before you knew it, 45 minutes was done. And I'm telling you, man, it's incredible when you look at 45, but then you break that down into 3 minutes here and 4 minutes there and 5 minutes there. And it's incredible how your brain works. Like here for me, like I see like, okay, so like 43 minutes, but then when I know 4 minutes is done, I'm into the 30s. How your brain works, right? And then like we're down to 31 minutes, okay, 4 minutes in and down into the 20s. And next thing you know, you're into single digit. It just goes so fast. Here's the story, gentlemen. There's just no reason for excuses. You got 720 minutes in a day, 720, Johnny, 720. This study says 1 minute is going to help you live fucking longer. That's it. Marty, 1 minute a day, brother.
Well, you know, and the thing about it's what you're describing, brother. I so agree. It's all about just breaking things down into simple, executable tasks.
Yes.
You know, like in the gym when I was taking 500 pounds, trying to squat 25 reps in one set for the first time ever. I wasn't climbing under the bar thinking I'm gonna get 25. I'm climbing the bar thinking I'm gonna get 10. I'm gonna basically stand there and breathe for a minute. Then I'm gonna buy out 5 more. Yes. And at that point, I'll just see how I feel. By the end, the last 6, I'm biting off 1 rep at a time. I'm like, 1 more. I know you can do 1 more. Okay, take a deep breath, go. 1 more. And at that point, I'm not even counting. My partner's counting.
Well, yes, that's exactly right. You just gotta start. You just gotta start, right, Marty? You gotta start.
One rep at a time, baby.
That's it.
If I got to 25, I can get to 26. If I get to 26, I can get to 27, and we just go from there, baby.
You know, it's like, think like this. You know, when it's really dark around you.
Yeah.
You know, are you into darkness, or did you just literally get planted and you're like a seed ready to blossom?
Oh, a seed. Hey, we're talking seeds later today. There's a big seed vault in Norway. And I brought it on the table because seeds are the duh.
No shit, brother. I don't know why. I had this feeling like I was supposed to say that today.
Yeah.
Like I came into the show thinking I need to say that for some reason. I have no idea why.
There's a big seed vault in the world. You guys know there's a seed vault. It's like Noah's Ark for seeds. And they got all these seeds from the whole world in this vault so that if the world goes to shit, we can at least we can grow food. And I brought it up because we obviously talk nutrition and food and so forth. So seeds are the root of that. But we'll get to that later on in the show. Marty, my brother, how are you today, my friend?
Hey, man, I'm amazing, man. You know, if I woke up, if I got my clients in, and if I get to the show, it's an amazing morning. I can't complain.
You're starting to sound like my dad. If I get up, Keith, I'm on the side of the road. If I'm on the side of the earth, I'm in good shape. Like, are you Christopher Martin?
You know, it's sometimes life plays a happy song, and sometimes it plays a sad one. But I remind myself, it doesn't matter what they play, I'm gonna kill it anyway.
Yes. Good morning, Scott Benz. Hey, Benz, you ask a question. Is there a certain heart rate we should shoot for? Yeah, just get it up. I didn't talk about the morning wood, Benzie. No, I'm talking about your heart rate. Yes, the heart rate. You want to get the heart rate up. You know, listen, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. Let's not get caught in the details, Benzie. Let's just get moving. Whether you got a 140 or 131, and I'm not trying to offer you advice. I'm simply just recommending moving.
Brother, that all these details are just fucking muddying up the waters. Just take 60 seconds, pick an activity, and fucking go.
Yeah, because we'll get too caught in the details and we'll never end up moving.
Doesn't matter. What matters is doing it every fucking day.
Speaking of details, we got a guy in the green room coming up here in a couple minutes, Josh Vernon. I met him on the LinkedIn platform, and he's a triathlete. Boys, just like Richie Ingram, I got nothing but respect for triathletes because these people, these humans, it's fuck, man. They get going for not like guys. We talk about going to the gym for a minute or 45 minutes. Like these triathletes go for like 12 hours. And you're like, oh, yes, what did you do today? Oh, I went to work. I drove to fucking Kansas City. I had dinner along the way. And this Vernon guy, he's been running. He's been swimming. He's been cycling. Fuck, a family is made. A mother and a father have made a whole family by the time Vernon's done his triathlon. The triathlete is just fascinating because it's all up in your skull, man. Like what you can and cannot achieve is all up in your head. And I have nothing but respect for triathletes.
Brother, I still agree with that. Once you stretch out your mental capacity, life becomes a playground.
It's incredible to me. You're like, oh yeah, what did you do today? No, I just worked out for 1,700 hours. You're like, what? I used to work with a young lady who I swear I would accomplish a whole life in a day, and she's just running and swimming and cycling. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm just doing great. That's all in your mind about it. And that's why I run, and that's why I do my endurance stuff, because guys, and that's why I tell people to want to start a business. You want to start a business, go become an endurance athlete first. True story. Or go on the extreme plan like John Anderson and go lift up some heavy things or get on stage and do things others don't want to do. But being an endurance athlete, without a doubt, will set you up for success in business, because business is endurance. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all up here, and it takes a long time to have success. So
when you can manifest your physical condition first, then you could develop you've developed the habits to become highly successful in other parts of your life.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
that simple. Yeah. Start with a simple one. You can do this when you're young. You know, when you're still in college, when you're in high school, you develop that. That's me. I developed the habits when I was young. I got to the real world. I was like, God, all you poor fuckers that don't know how to fucking take this shit and string it together on a daily basis, I'm gonna leave you all behind.
That's it. That's it.
See you later.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Jimmy, let's keep the show rolling, man. Let's do this. Let's bring up the accountability check-in. Let's walk Johnny off for a quick break. We'll walk Marty off for a quick break. We got Josh Vernon coming up in a moment. Boom, boom. I had the old Instagram glasses on here, but fuck, man, I was just sweating up like a mofo. Just dripping water everywhere off my face. It's from the run. Vernon, I'm just all heated up from the run. Yeah. I'm glad you came in on the Friday so we can kind of commiserate about my running. But listen, boys, here's something to think about today for today's accountability check-in. We all do it. Yep, we all do it. We tell ourselves, we have time. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to wait for the right moment, Josh. I'm waiting for the right moment to get started. You know, to think, to plan, to wait for the exact right moment. But here's the thing, boys. The future isn't coming. No, it's already here. Yeah. And the world is moving. It's fucking moving faster than ever, you guys. Faster than it's ever moved. So listen, we've all been there. We're stuck in our heads. We're overthinking. Benzie, don't. Waiting won't make it easier. Listen, we live in a world of absolutes. Next Friday's coming regardless if you like it or not. Yep. Next year is coming regardless if you like it or not. So if you wait, in my experience, not easier. Nope. So right now you get two things. You can roll over and hit the snooze button and be 9 minutes behind that guy over there. And then if you do that for the whole year, you're going to be 56 hours behind that guy. Or you can adapt and you can grow. Or most of you are going to overthink it and you're going to resist it and you're going to hit the snooze button and you're going to get left behind. And then you're going to come on this show in months from now going, I'm stuck. Fuck, man. No. 8 o'clock Eastern time every single day, the accountability partner that's free. That's going to help you to adapt and grow. But all you have to do is look to the past. Yeah, back there. Yeah, to see the future. It's true. We live in a cyclical world. Businesses that waited, gone. Yeah. Creators who hesitated, irrelevant. People who played it safe in their careers, stuck. So I invite you to ask yourself, is this going to be for you? Your career, your fitness, your dreams? Because the gap between those who do and those who don't is growing. So which side of that gap do you want to be on? And I invite you to ask yourself today, am I creating or consuming? Am I learning or am I coasting? Am I evolving or am I fading? So nation, I ask yourself this morning, are you going to live or be left behind? And as we wrap up today's accountability check-in, the last thing you have to ask yourself is this. It's your call. It's your own mirror, boys. It's not that guy's mirror. It's not Johnny's, Marty's. It's not Jimmy's. It's not Josh's. It's your own mirror, boys. It's holding you back. Let's get after it this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jim. Let's bring in our guest. What's up, Holroyd? I see your comments. There is not enough time in the day to put off till later. You are right, Adam. The perfect time to do something doesn't exist. No way, baby. You're quickly learning that done is better than perfect. That is absolute truth. Holroyd, what's going on, Mr. Josh?
Perfect is procrastination, baby.
That's it. We got a non-procrastinator in the middle of the screen here. What's going on, Josh Vernon, this morning, brother?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having
Josh,
me on.
what's up?
So Josh is joining us from Massachusetts today. Am I correct?
I am. It's a little cold, a little snowy, but doesn't keep us from not getting active.
Vernon, I'm from Manitoba, Canada. You know nothing about cold, brother. And I know Amy Reinhardt's on the screen right now. Amy's from Massachusetts as well. And I already gave her the same shit. And Marty's from Maryland, and he talks about being cold. Vernon, you guys know nothing about cold. It's minus fucking 30 here right now in Winnipeg. So there you go. It's cold.
Warm here then.
You know more about cold than I do, though, brother. So I'll give you that.
There you go. So, guys, I ran into Josh over on the LinkedIn platform. I saw some stuff he was doing, and I was fascinated. Well, actually, truth, I'll be just frank. I'm trying to do business with Peloton. I'm trying to get in front of Peloton. I'm trying to get in front of the company, and I saw Josh in one of their feeds, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go knock on this guy's door. Maybe Josh knows somebody from Peloton. So I started interacting with Josh, and Josh like, hey, this guy's got a show. Josh has got a show. I'm like, hey, why don't you come on my show? So now Josh is on the show. Hey, Josh.
That's how it works. I've found that out the last few years. It's you can't open a door if you don't knock, and you can't get a question answered if you don't ask it. So why not? And I appreciate you reaching out because I do know a lot of people at Peloton. I've actually gone for a run with Matt Wilpers, the man you ran through on the screen today.
Yes.
I've been lucky enough to go for runs with him in Central Park in person and stuff like that.
Cool.
So,
very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Well, listen, so we have a big, it's the most important question, Josh, you're going to be asked today. Not by your family, your colleagues. Nobody's going to ask you the kind of question that we're going to ask you right now. Okay?
All right.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
I'm suspecting you've prepared your entire life for this question.
Always.
All right. Ready? Jimmy, the drum roll is Josh Vernon. What is your morning routine?
My morning routine depends on how well I slept the night before. So sometimes my morning routine shifts. I need to recover. So you've talked about the fact that I do triathlon and all of the hours that goes into that. The biggest piece of that training for me is also the recovery. And if I'm not recovered, I'm not absorbing the training. So there are times, because I am a family guy, I have a daughter who has a schedule and things like that, depending on her schedule. And when I get to the pool or the gym or downstairs on my Peloton, it will change when I get to bed. So I am looking at my morning starts after I've got at least 7 hours of sleep the night before. So
yeah.
So it's like a sliding schedule. Yeah.
Sliding schedule now, trying to keep it as routine as possible with a certain window of when I go to bed and when I get up. So I am lucky to work from home and an entrepreneur from home and do all these things. So the schedule is flexible, but at the same time, there are mornings I'm up at 5. There are mornings that I'm up at 8:30. So it does change.
I like how you definitively work backwards from the evening before. We're all about mornings here, and one of the philosophies we have is that your morning actually does start the night before. And the other thing, Josh, we talk about often in this show is that we just live in the world of a loop, right? Like, it's just a continual boring loop, just over and over. There's never really an end to it. But your morning starts the night before. So the decisions you make tomorrow morning, you've made the night before. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a page out of my book right there, brother.
Exactly. Yeah. Marty, Johnny, I've learned this about Josh as well, that Josh said swimming. As a triathlete, you got to swim, you got to run, you got to cycle, right? So, boys, Josh said he hated swimming. Worst enemy. Now he loves it. And I wanted to pick up on this, Vernon, because a lot of guys hate going to the gym. A lot of guys hate taking a discipline. I hate running, but I do it because I hate running. Talk about your process from moving of hating swimming to going, okay, I kind of enjoy it now.
It's kind of funny because I grew up swimming. I had a pool in my backyard. I was fortunate to have that, and I thought I was great at it.
Yeah.
And that was when you were swimming with your family and your friends and your brothers, and like, oh, I can go one length of the pool faster than him. Then all of a sudden you jump in and they're like, all right, you got to swim 400 meters, or you've got to swim now 1.2 miles in a half Ironman, or eventually, if I ever get there, 2.4 miles in a full Ironman. That's insane. And then you start talking about, wow, I don't float in adult onset swimming, and it becomes my anaerobic workout. I don't need the bike and running. I don't need a track workout. I just go to the pool. There's my anaerobic workout. So, but it comes into consistency like everything else. The more you get there, the more knowledge you give yourself on technique and things like that. You can't outlift anyone in the pool, but you can show up every day and get better. And that's what I've learned. So more consistency there, and it's allowed me to do that. I just look at it like this. If I sign up for an event, and this goes with a lot of things you were talking about earlier, sign up for an event, sign up for a local 5K, sign up for a local sprint triathlon, which takes about an hour and a half for the whole thing. So you sign up for a race and it gives you that accountability. And then you start to find a community within that, and that community gives you some more accountability. And it makes things a little easier the day you start to question whether or not you want to do that workout.
Real quick, I just got to jump in and give you some props on open water swimming, because most people only have swam in a pool. And when most people have never thought, well, here, perfect example. When I lived in Northern California, I lived in an inlet in the bay, right? And people would come to my house and be like, oh man, I'm going to go and there's a buoy that's probably, Jesus Christ, 200 yards out there. I'm going to go swim to the buoy. And if I would said that, I would talk them out of it and help them understand there's no wall to grab a hold of out there. But sometimes these idiots would come in, and no one shouldn't say idiots. They were kids. My daughter's friends. They just literally see it and just go fucking diving in and start swimming as fast as they could. And I'm like, God damn it. I have to get in the fucking canoe and get out there, because shortly after I got there, they were so fucking tired. They couldn't even pull their asses into the goddamn canoe, And when people don't understand open water swimming, there's nowhere to hide, If you don't pace yourself, you're going to fucking drown.
And there's a reason why it's first in the realm of triathlons. Swim, bike, run. And swimming is probably the hardest. And then running is probably the most, damaging or potentially damaging to people with the heart and everything, with the bike giving you a little bit of reprieve depending on how hard you go. But everything in the sport's about pacing, and I do a lot of riding in the zone 1, zone 2 stuff, and changing my whole metabolic profile to burn fat before it burns carbs.
It's real quick, just to give a little more props on that. I've lived like currently one of my house on a lake. Before up in the bay, before every place that I've lived on water, open water, many people have died trying to swim to something. Like people die trying to swim to the island here. People have died trying to swim to the buoys out there. People die often in open water swimming because they just don't understand.
And that's with or without wetsuits. I try and find the races that are in colder water so that they do involve wetsuits, because it does help me for sure. But yeah, you've got to be safe.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Josh, you talk about lifting, and I know, Johnny's obviously a lifter. Marty's a lifter. I like lifting heavy things up, and, Peloton introduced me to the endurance side of things. But Josh, how do you balance strength resistance training and lifting with your endurance sports? I think it's a good question, because a lot of folks struggle with that. They go worry, but I don't want to become too skinny. I don't have muscle mass. Josh, how do you balance it both, buddy?
It's just part of my training schedule. I have a great coach who's helped put that together for me. This time of year, kind of before season starts, and my first event's in April, we've done a lot of preventative maintenance, and a lot of that has been around a lot of it's been strength training. 2 to 3 times a week for me has been in the schedule, and it might be a half hour, it might be 45 minutes, it might just be a little bit of a core workout, because that's all part of the game in endurance. And I think more athletes need to do it, especially when you start talking about your glutes and your legs and all the base that keep us going, and being able to activate those muscles is huge. So the more strength training I've done this winter, I feel like I'm better off going into next year. Look, I've only been doing this for a few years, but I feel like I've been a sponge, and I now host a podcast of my own in triathlon. And I just kind of love the sport and everything it does as a community for other people.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith Billis, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and our guest Josh Vernon this morning on Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends. The only morning show for men to get their ass out of bed, not hit the snooze button, and hit those big audacious goals. We're going to get to the fit tip here in a second. Hey, Josh, I know we had you in for one segment. Do you want to stick around for the second segment, another 13 minutes, or do you got to rock and roll?
No, I'm around. I have the morning free.
Awesome. Let's do it. So, hey, I got another question for you, brother. So, I know in your feed and your content you create, you talked about how dialing in nutrition was a game changer for you. Again, another pillar of discussion we have here on the show. Josh, what was it? Was it macros? Was it timing? Was it sitting down and scraping everything back and starting from fresh? Like, talk to us about your nutrition journey, Josh Vernon.
Yeah, so I think it started pretty simple, and what's out there for me at the time back in like 2020 when I started really this journey was an app called MyFitnessPal, and I started to understand what my macros are, and just kind of plugged in some numbers and height and weight and what I was doing activity wise, and started to count stuff for a month or two, and then you start to get a basic knowledge of it. Then I got into the endurance sports and the triathlon world, and I would finish the bike and feel good and start the run, and then it'll be like, wow, why am I cramping? Why are all these happening? I know I'm trained. I know I'm fit for this. And some of it has to do with muscle fatigue and not pacing correctly. The other piece of it is not getting enough fuel for the race that I'm in, and in the conditions and the elements and the heat. And it starts in the kitchen, what I eat every day, but it's also how many carbs you put into your system while you're racing, while you're training even more so, because then you're starting the recovery process while you're working out and getting the carbs in, and then immediately the protein afterwards. I just learned what all these things do for your body and how much fuel we need. And now you're seeing it get all the way to like the Tour de France, where these guys used to be bean poles. Now they're eating 160, 180 grams of carbs an hour while they're on the bike. And it used to be like, no, don't eat. You're weighing too much. So we've learned a lot about fueling. And again, I've just been a sponge for everything, because I'm not the fastest one out there, but I can help compete with some of these people if I know a little bit more than they do.
What you said, and Marty, I want to get your fit tip just a quick second here. What you said, I love that you said you signed up for MyFitnessPal, you use it for about a month or so, just so you can get an idea of what nutrition looked like. You're like, okay, so that's what 30 grams of carbs looks like. Okay, that's what 30 grams of protein looks like. That's what 10 grams of fat looks like. And I did the same thing, Josh. I've used these tools just to give myself awareness around what things look like. And, and John and Marty have been doing this for so long, they can look at food to get a good understanding of what that nutritional value is. But that's the hack, isn't it, Josh? It's finding an app, looking at the value of what food looks like, learning, and then going from there, and don't overthinking it, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, to me, there's so many things that we have to worry about on a day-to-day basis. It's just, nutrition is a huge piece of it. It keeps us all going, and it's going to keep us going for a long time, but you don't need to obsess over it on every meal going forward. I think it's just that knowledge and understanding of what you're putting in, and not being afraid to have a cheat day every once in a while too, because it's going to keep you happy and your body happy too.
There you go. All right, we're Josh Vernon. Marty's going to get to the fit tip. And then we're going to come back and keep the chat going with Josh. And then we got George Jansen coming up with the protein break. We're going to keep the discussion going we had with George earlier this week around where do you find real knowledge in today's world of knowledge here, knowledge there, knowledge everywhere. Marty, let's get after it, brother. Yeah, I can't hear Marty either. Hey, Jimmy, we can't hear Marty. We're going to get Marty off here. We're going to keep it. We'll keep it rock and rolling here. Marty, we got you muted there, brother. Josh, we got you.
I'm here.
I'm good. I'm right here.
There you are, Marty.
There he is.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Get after it, brother. We'll get after it here.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all.
No, you're all good.
Rookie mistake. Anyway, I'll just start over. When you first start your fitness journey, things are going to feel super uncomfortable, right? But as you keep going, those things are going to get easier, right? You lift weights, you're going to be super sore at first. But the more you keep going to the gym, you're lifting weights 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, it's not going to hurt as much. You're not going to be as sore. So understand that you might be afraid of something. You might be nervous about it. You might be hesitant, but it's not going to feel like that as time goes on, right? When you first start doing your cardio, it's going to suck. You're going to be winded. The first time you get on that Stairmaster, you try to stay on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you're crazy like me, it's going to suck. But over time, it's going to get easier. So don't let that initial feeling throw you off. Don't let the initial feeling stop you from getting better, becoming a better version of yourself, and getting healthier, because that's why we do it. All right? So that's just part of the game. It happens to everybody, including all of us on the show right now. So always remember that. Don't let it stop you. That's the fitness tip for today.
Marty, when the boys can't hear your voice, everybody goes panicky. Like, we're missing Marty. I'm seeing the comments here, and like, we can't hear Marty. We can't hear Marty. We're like, yes, we all want to hear the sultry sounds of Christopher Martin.
I don't know what happened, because y'all heard me earlier, right?
Marty, we love your voice, man. Your voice is just it gets everybody going in the morning, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Keith.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we're hanging out with Christopher Martin, John Anderson, Josh Vernon, producer Jimmy on the buttons, and we got Tommy in the community there interacting with all you guys here this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Josh, so you co-founded Do Wicked Good.
I did. It was kind of one of those born during the days of COVID mentalities. Really, is the way I look at it. So I started a Peloton community in 2021, and with that we started doing a lot of philanthropic work as well, and raising some money and going to breakfast and as a group and leaving some crazy big tips, and that's kind of taken on its own breath of fresh air for the group, and people outside of the Peloton world, they want to do other things and do good stuff. So my wife and I came up with the idea of Do Wicked Good. And with that, we created a brand and a mentality that don't just do good, do wicked good. And it doesn't have to be just a Boston thing, and it can be more than that. But we can all try and do our best at certain things, but take it to that next level. And whether that's at school, whether that's in your workout, whether that's at your job, whether that's at your life with your family, just go that extra step. And that Do Wicked Good mentality was born, and we've worked with some nonprofit organizations and helped build some events for them and help them do wicked good. And instead of just having their annual golf gala, I've helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for organizations, and that side of it has got to be a piece of it. So you've got the active side of Do Wicked Good, and then you've got the give back side, volunteer, raise money, do something with your community.
That's fantastic, you guys. That's and it's a living entity today. It goes today, and you guys are actively running it today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a part of who we are, and it's every once in a while I'll see somebody wearing a shirt or it's out there. It's never grown as much as it could have and should have, and maybe it will one day. But the mentality's still there, and it's instilled a lot of people across the whole Peloton community and outside of that as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good morning, good time. I see you there as well. I see a Rick Clody. I see a Pink Cat in the comments. I see a Dugan. Everybody here this morning on the Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. We're hanging out with Josh Vernon. Hey, Josh, tech has made a big play into the gym. Tech has made a big play into endurance sports. Wearables are growing faster than ever. Josh, in your experience, have wearables overcomplicated fitness, or have wearables opened our eyes into the opportunities with fitness? Or is the answer both?
It's a loaded question for sure, because it depends on who you ask. If you ask my coach, be like, just go do it. And if
you ask John Anderson, who owns a fax machine, John would fax me the piece of paper with the instructions, and he'd give you the answer, Josh.
I think each way works. Look, I look at it like I again have an advantage if there's some information out there for me to get, and science and technology have advanced to the point where we can start to understand things a little differently, starting with my sleep and my recovery. And I wear a Whoop. I trust it because I've been wearing it for 3+ years, every day, every night. And it's more about the consistent data that it's providing me, not like, oh, you feel bad today and you've got a 20 score out of 100. No, that I wouldn't look at with a grain of salt. But over years of data being accumulated, I know that it's pretty accurate in certain situations. If I'm starting to get sick or things like that, and I need to dial back my workout or change my workout from a longer endurance workout, maybe I just go swim. And things like that have helped. Knowing where I need to be in terms of zones and things like that comes and goes. I just went through some lactate testing and went to that next level, and that was pretty eye-opening too. But it all depends on what you're training for and what you're going after. But I do believe in the technology side of things. Just it's how much you use it. Otherwise, RPE, rate of perceived exertion, is the way to go on most of this stuff, and just understanding your body over time. But don't get caught up in it. Just get out there and get going, sign up for an event, and then let somebody tell you how to get there, and they'll keep you going.
Good morning. Hey, Marty, Johnny, we got Brookie on the show this morning. Brookie has a day off from school here. So I see
that. What's up, Brookie?
What's up, Brookie Bear? My little girl, Brookie's in the show this morning. She's got a day off. So I see Pink Cat and she's like, Keithy, it's me, Brookie. So Brookie, I'm not going to say any swears right now. I'm just going to say chit. So Marty, so I was sitting with Brookie a couple of days ago and she's like, and I was trying to make her say the word shit. She's like, how about chit? Chit. I'm like, oh, there you go. So she's all about the chit. Good morning, Brookie Bear. I'm glad to have you on the show here this morning. That's awesome. Vernon, you said something which I think we need to lean into. And I saw a comment yesterday. Dan Go, a high-profile influencer on the platform, is like, I was surfing for 2 hours and my watch said I burned 1,000 calories. And he's like, there's no fucking way. Oops, sorry, Brookie. There's no fucking way
that didn't last long.
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
That's Keith for you. Hey, Josh, that's Keith for you, man.
Yeah.
The house here, Brookie, you know. But Dan's like, there's no way I burned 1,000 calories in 2 hours of surfing. But the point there is, to me anyways, and AJ Zeglin taught me this, the number doesn't need to be right. It just needs to be a measurable that you can lean into. So maybe you did 1,000 hours for 2 hours today. 1,000 today, and tomorrow's only 700. Well, you're probably less than when you were yesterday. So it's not about being right. It's just a metric, right, Josh?
Yeah, and that's the consistency factor. Like you can start to look at it as a piece of data over time is going to give you more information than just a daily basis. And that's where, for me, like that it could have been 2,000 calories.
Yes.
But if it's 1,000 and half the time, okay, well now you're talking. Now in between somewhere, I know what I'm about burning or what I need to do to burn certain. I have 4,000, 5,000 calorie days. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I know on that day I burned a lot more than I did when I didn't do as much.
Yes, exactly. Marty.
Yeah, I was going to say I do that with my clients on the Stairmaster. You know, a lot of them are different, but I know if you get to 100 calories in 10 minutes, you're working. Right. Yeah, so exactly. We kind of use that as a measure, but I know they're probably not burning 100 calories in 10 minutes, more than likely.
Well, Marty, it's funny you said, because I was doing when I was working out with AJ at the gym there, I do like wind sprints on the what the hell is that thing called there? You know what I'm talking about, the
Airdyne, the bike.
Airdyne, yeah. And I was, it's like, AJ, I'm not wearing anything. I'm like, AJ, how does it know I'm doing 25 calories in 10 minutes? He goes, Keith, it doesn't matter. He goes, if you do it, Marty does it, and Josh does it, and you do 25, and Josh does 30, and Marty does 50, well, clearly you're doing less than those two boys. So it really has nothing to do with what your output is. It's a measurable output for the three of you guys. And I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. It's because it's not about it being accurate. It's about being something consistent. Johnny.
We just, the thing is this is a classic example of why paying attention to these details just distracts us.
Yeah.
Just get on the fucking thing and work hard.
Yes.
And if you put the effort into trying to figure out these details, and you put that effort into working hard, you're going to get so much more back in your return of investment.
Well, and that's why I also because I think there's a lot of men who have ego that don't want to go. I'll call you out, Johnny. Oh, I don't want to go lift with Johnny because I'm not as strong as Johnny and I'm going to feel intimidated by Johnny. No, it has nothing to do with that.
Brother, I tell anybody that comes to train me, I say, I don't give a damn if you're lifting 100 pounds. Exactly. What I care about is the effort you put in, because your effort inspires me. Well, you lift 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds. Now what I want is that contagious shit you're gonna put out that's gonna get into me, because I'm gonna give it right back to you, and then it becomes a positive vortex.
That's
why it doesn't make a difference what's on the bar.
Marty,
I was gonna say, sometimes when I lift with some of my buddies that might be like a little bit stronger than me, what I ask, like, what weight we starting with? They're like, it don't matter. Let's just fucking go. Like, let's get to it. So that's the same mentality, Johnny.
That's why I love weight, because weight doesn't see race, doesn't see color, doesn't see sexuality. 45 pounds.
Well, and forget weight, because the body doesn't know the muscle doesn't know the weight. It knows the difficulty and the effort.
Yes.
So you even get rid of weight. It comes down to you could say it difficulty / effort, because if it's difficult, you're going to have to put in more effort. That's the currency.
That's it. All right, we're coming up to the bottom of the third segment here with Josh Vernon, Keith Bills, Marty, and John Anderson. Mornings in Live with Keith Friends. We got George Jansen joining us here for a moment in the protein break. Josh, how can folks connect with you? Where can they find you? Those that want to, learn more about what you're up to and learn more about the Do Wicked Good. Where can people connect with Josh Vernon? Josh.
Yeah, so the easiest place to follow me is on Instagram at Josh M as Michael. So Josh M Vernon is my Instagram handle, and that's where I do most of my content. and there'll be a lot of things there where I'll tag Do Wicked Good, and that mentality. It's usually a hashtag in my posts and my reels, and it's just what I do on a daily basis. Look, I quit drinking just about 6 years ago now, April 2019, and from that day forward, I've had this mentality. Now it's a name, and I just feel like every day is a special gift for me, and I've been given a second chance after a lot of years of damaging, and I'm just kind of running with it at this point. And there's been a lot of people reach out to me that have stopped or quit or have been inspired. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Hey, Keith, can I ask Josh something real quick?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
What if you don't mind me asking, what was it that made you quit and just make you turn that leaf over like, man, I'm done with this shit?
Yeah. I mean, I went through a lot of tough times when I lived in the Virgin Islands for 3 years, and we went through 2 hurricanes, and that kind of changed my mindset on what is bad and what is life. Cause I started doing a lot of recovery work and helping rebuild the islands. And then I moved back home to Massachusetts from there. And with that, I was trying to get full custody of my daughter, and my whole just world and mindset changed. I met my wife, Janine, now, and she worked out more. And I just decided, you know what, look, in order to get through all of this, I've got to remove the one piece that has always caused me trouble. And that was a controllable. All of a sudden the uncontrollable became a controllable. I took it out, and I don't miss it. And I love my Athletic Brewing NA beer, but I'm lucky in that case too, where I can still have an NA beer and it doesn't trigger me. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just ready to go at all times and fit for all times, no matter what. And I took that out of my life, and it was the best decision I ever made.
I'm speechless because
You gotta love it.
Yes, I'm speechless because you're hearing love, Josh, come towards you, man. That is awesome, man.
I gotta love it.
Marty, Johnny, I suspect we have maybe a beast or a goat here within our whims here who has more to share with us on the show. I think we have to invite Josh Vernon back. Josh, we come back anyways, man.
Of course. Always welcome.
I'm suspecting that we've only scratched the surface with what's going on. When you reveal your hurricane work, when you reveal, trying to gather full custody of your daughter, there's a lot more going on. And I can tell you are one of us. I suspect, Josh Vernon does shit that most don't do.
100%.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's why he is.
And the fact that he said he realized it was a controllable.
Yeah.
A lot of people act like it's an uncontrollable, like they can't stop.
I'm glad you heard that, Marty. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Josh, you come back, hang out with us again with some time, my friend.
I definitely will. I appreciate you guys having me on today, and let me stay a little longer.
Awesome. Okay, Josh Vernon's going to head out of the lab here, guys. You guys can connect with Josh. You find him on Instagram, the Do Wicked Good fellow. He's from Massachusetts. You can find Josh on LinkedIn, find him on Instagram. And we're going to have Josh back on here in the show here in the upcoming future. But right now, we're going to get to the John Anderson lifestyle tip, and we're going to come back with George Hansen. Let's get after it, brother. Oh, that's not the right one. This one is. There we go.
Here we go. I pissed my pants in the middle of the airport, and here's how it happened. So I'm basically going to get my pro card. I'm going to compete for my pro card in bodybuilding, and I'm at the San Francisco airport. The plane gets canceled. So my coach and my buddy who was there, my training partner who was there, kind of taking care of me, says, "Hey, we got to get you. You got to get down and take a nap." We found a kind of a quiet place behind a terminal, or behind one of the desks at the terminal, so I could try to get a little sleep. And I was so tired from the prep, I fell right to sleep. And I'm having this, all of a sudden I'm having this dream that I'm taking a piss, as we've all been there. And I'm thinking to myself, I can visually see it. I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, God, there's nobody else in here peeing with me. And I'm thinking, God, it's getting really hot in here. And as I wake up, I have fully pissed my pants. I'm not talking about pissing my pants a little bit. I'm talking about like from mid stomach to mid thigh. I am wet. And as I wake up and I'm just in disbelief, my plane's canceled. It's like, what else is going to go wrong? I kind of sit up, and my training partner buddy comes up and he says, "What just happened?" I tell him I pissed my pants, and he looks at me, he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "What are you going to do if you don't win? God, things are really starting to go against you." So I looked up at him and I said, "Honestly, brother, I've never even thought about that." And he goes, well, what are you going to do? You're covered in pee. You got to get on a plane. And basically all I did was think about getting to the hotel so I could clean myself up, take a shower, and put on some clothes. I get to the hotel, do what I think about I'm doing. I go to the show and I win. So I'm basically win my pro card. Now, here's the lesson to the story. When things are going wrong, the plane was canceled. I didn't think about, oh my God, what if I'm not going to get there? I thought, time to get some sleep. I fully pissed my pants and I didn't think, oh my God, I'm going to have to get on this plane and people are going to smell me. They're going to laugh. They're going to this, that, and the other. What I did was I focused on the solutions rather than the problems. And because I was focused on the solutions, my mind stayed in a place where I could still perform at the highest level. I got to the show and I won my pro card. So just remember, you're going to piss your pants in life over and over and over. It's not a problem. Focus on the solutions rather than the problems. You're going to get what you want. It's that simple. Rock and roll.
Not problems, you guys. It's funny, Johnny. I was talking with Walter, our good old gentleman in the community there, Tommy, and we were talking about creating content. And I said, Tommy, we're going to have a lot of barriers and a lot of problems come up. Let's focus on solving them. Like, I don't want to waste time talking about the problems because we know that they're going to be there. And I find it's often in leadership and in business where, we have our teammates come to us and say, there's a problem. Yeah, we know. Let's focus on solving the how we solve the problem with a solution instead of focusing so much on the fact that we know there's a problem in front of us. So that's all right. Listen, we got Jory Jansen here joining us in the lab here. What's going on, Jory? We brought you in a little bit late this morning. How are you today?
What's up, Jory?
All good. It was a little bit quieter morning. My daughter also does not have school today, so.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we got Brookie here in the lab this morning, which is pretty awesome. But Jory, I purposely did not put nothing in your feed this morning because I wanted to continue our chat from Wednesday, and we'll take a little bit of minutes this morning, Jory. And what I wanted to lean into was information. There is so much, and it's funny because I had a chat with somebody who's a former high-profile media personality in this country, a national reporter, and we're talking about the state of media, and I was saying to her, she goes, well, people want trust these days, and I said, I don't disagree with you, but trust is such a loaded word that trust on one platform means trust on a different platform. You can go onto X, for example, and see that the sky is blue, but then you go over to Blue Sky or to Threads, and somebody's saying that the sky is actually red, and you're like, yeah, but which one do I believe? So, Jory, let's spend a few minutes today digging into where we're getting, how we're getting, what to believe. Do we believe everything that person says? And it's only getting more difficult, Jory Jansen. What do you tell your clients? What do you tell yourself? Where do you get your information? How do you find the truth, Jory Jansen?
Well, for me, it's a little bit different than a lot of the general population, right? So I get to work with sports scientists, researchers, so I can get information where I want to. Although that being said, you can always find what you're looking for.
Yes.
But I say whatever it is that you're hearing, I think it's taking a moment to just look at, is this true for you? And if it's true for you, and it's not harming you or anyone around you, then you know what? Take a risk, take a step, and experiment with it.
Is it true? That's a fascinating statement, Jory. That's a loaded statement, actually. Is it true for you? Because that can be and I love you said that, because they could be wrapped in controversy, right? Because alternative facts to John might be an alternative fact to Marty, might be an alternative fact to me. And it almost goes back in many ways, Jory, when I go through Instagram and I see 7 different guys saying what they ate. They all ate something different. They all look jacked, and they're all saying something different. It's very much what works best for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. Last night I was doing an initial consultation with a new client dealing with obesity and tons of inflammation in the body because every joint is in pain. Everything's getting rehabbed. And they're only 34. And I was going through some options, and I could tell where their belief system was, and they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that, they couldn't. And so I went back in their history. I'm like, so where are you right now? What do you believe you're capable of right now? And this particular client believed that they could do A. And even though I know that if if they did B and C, they'd get to their destination sooner. But if that's not where they're believing, it's not going to be helpful. So we're starting with where their belief is and build them up so then they can trust that where I'm going to lead them next is going to be beneficial. But if I just said, well, you have to prep everything, at least 3 days in advance, you have to do it. They've already tried and done what they thought they could. And so I've got to take the time to deliver the message in a way that they're going to trust me and that what I'm offering them is a solution to what their challenge currently is. And you can find many different ways to get to the same destination. So I just need to meet them where they're at right now. Is there evidence and research to show, hey, get rid of this, prep in advance? Absolutely. But if that's not where they're sitting at, and that's not where their safety is at this point, it doesn't matter what I say, even though I know that it's evidence-based, even though I know it's tried and true. But if it's not where they're trusting, I have nowhere to go with them yet, right? But they ended up leaving smiling, feeling like they had an action plan, something that was doable. They felt like they weren't forced to eat something that they did not want to do. They were actually pretty excited. They're like, so I don't have to do this. I can do that. I'm like, absolutely, let's go. So it's really, there's tons of information out there. I honestly believe there's no one way to get to one destination.
I agree with you. Yeah.
For you right now. And that probably will change over time.
I'm fascinated by what you, go ahead, Marty. Go ahead, please. Marty.
I was just going to say, Joy, with people like that, it just takes super patience. You know how it goes. But I wanted to rewind back to what Keith said when you said you saw some like 6 jack guys on Instagram.
Yeah.
So one way, like, people get confused because they'll be like, all right, they all doing different things. But what you can do is find a common denominator, right? So I'm looking at 6 different guys. One's eating fish, one's chicken, one don't eat red meat, but they all getting a high protein intake, right?
Yeah.
They're all getting a fiber in. They all eating vegetables. They all drinking.
They're all
water.
not missing meals.
Exactly. They all drink black coffee. So you can also find a common denominator. So I just wanted to add that in there for anybody that took that the wrong way.
Well, no, Marty, I'm glad you said it, because even what I was going to say to Jory, and I'm sure John's going to jump in here, is that it's almost like for the last, I'm just going to pick a random number, Jory, last 25 years, we've been so inundated with gathering information, and all this competing information that it's like we really just want to go back to Mike Smart's farm and just grow a potato. It's like, put the seed in the ground, eat the potato, and just forget about everything else. I'm oversimplifying it, but that's almost like where we need to go back to, isn't it, Jory?
Yeah. I mean, always going back to the basics never hurts, right? It's where we all come from, is the basics. And so it's just figuring out what's going to be that light bulb moment where someone can take that first step. And I mean, you have people choosing all different ways to eat. However, what I was clear with this client is that what they have been doing hasn't been working. That's why they think.
Yes. How did you communicate that to them?
Exactly like that.
Oh.
That's what I do. That's the best way to do it, though.
Yeah. Well, 100%. It's like if what you were doing was working, you wouldn't have come here.
Yeah.
We're just here to help you find a way that's going to work.
I'm also struck by the term that you use. And I listened to you very clearly, and I learned from when you speak. You said to your client, what do you believe you're capable in? That's intriguing to me, because in my experience, most are going to think that the bar is lower than what they are capable of. So how did you communicate to them? Let's do some communication lessons here. How did you communicate to them a belief that maybe they could achieve more, or you didn't? You said, okay, I'm going to accept where their belief is right now. Because I suspect John might say, well, no, you can do much more. Why don't you believe you can do much more? Why do you have a limiting belief?
Well, what I kind of come out from a different way.
Yeah.
I don't try to get them to believe when they're in a state of frustration and failure. I get them out of the gate and they're like, holy shit, look progress I've made in the last 5 to 10 days. Now their mind is open. Now I can say, look, okay. Then I start reprogramming the mind. I don't want to reprogram a closed mind. I want to reprogram an open mind.
Interesting. Jor?
Yeah, I think for this particular scenario last night, I go through their history, right? I have to get to know them, and for them there was a lot of unsafety with creating a nutrition plan, and we really switched it. She really got that, I'm not dieting. I'm like, no, you're not going to diet for the rest of your life, or at least not while you're working with me. That doesn't exist. However, you're going to create something that's going to be your lifestyle, because if you want to diet, I'm the wrong gal. But if you want to work on your lifestyle, I'm here to support you through that.
Changing language, right?
Yeah, Jory.
Yeah. So she was really pumped. She went from like being very scared, who's going to judge me? This person works, in this area. But I created a very safe space for her, or she allowed me to. She had to allow me to, right?
Yes.
She's the one that's empowered to do that. But it was a great conversation, and I always look at body language. It went from like who's to laughter and joy and excitement and like wanting to like schedule right away. When are we meeting again? And so to me, that's the place where we don't have to, do everything all at once. For some people, absolutely we do. That's what they want. and there's going to be highs and lows. But for this person, they were super pumped that it was not a diet. We're looking at the rest of her life. And at only 34, she really does have the rest of her life. Right. So, and being in an obese state, and thinking, life is just going to be me on my own. There's a lot to go through when you're working with someone, right? So it's not only about the nutrition guide. It's about their
so individualized as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, guys, listen, we're going to wrap up with Jory here. We're going to get her out of the lab here this morning. Jory is off next week. She's got some work travel. Then she's going to segue her work travel to vacay travel. Jory, you have yourself an awesome, safe adventure. Before you do that, what do you got going on this weekend?
What do I have going on this weekend? Packing. Packing and just getting things organized so Kurt has an easy time.
Yes. I suspect we're going to be having more conversations about this type of information discussion as time goes on. I'm going to suspect over the coming weeks and months, there's going to be a lot of curiosity and confusion about things that are maybe happening around the food and nutrition industry. This is what I'm suspecting. It's based on what's maybe happening stateside. So I think these conversations are good. And especially with AI generating more knowledge and content than anywhere. And even something you said, Jory, which I find striking, which is you got to find what works best for you. The flip side to that, unfortunately, is people will go to the things that they want to have work for them, and sometimes aren't always the right things, right, Jory? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. Sifting through everything, and I think we all know that it's what's true for you. Like we need to also manage that and to make sure that because I've always said that belief systems can also be BS, right?
Well,
and so. It's making sure that you're on the right track in terms of what you're believing to be true.
Yeah.
That's why we're out here.
I want Jory to talk about that when she gets back. I want to hear Jory go in on that.
I like that because your belief system can also be BS. Yeah, that's
I want to hear that.
That's a sharp statement. All right, well, listen, let's walk Jory out of here. Jory, appreciate you. We have lots of love for you, all the stuff you contribute to the community here. And I tell you, every time you come on, people always knock on my door later. And I got a big question in front of me here right now. I got to read it. Ask it, but I got time right now, but I'm going to probably throw it to you later. But I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Safe travels. We'll see you when you get back, okay?
All right. Take care, you guys.
All right, Jory.
Have a great one, Jory.
Jory's going to get out of here. I suspect that Mr. Martin is going to be getting out of here as well. He's got to go hang out with all the dudes at Gold Gym here today.
You know what's crazy? When you make all the old man jokes and then I walk in and the old man just like, "What's up, Marty?" I'm like, yo, Keith has to see this.
I got to come down one time just to walk into the gym with you, right?
Oh, my God. It's so funny. You'll be cracking up. They're like, "What's up, man? What's going on, man?"
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome. All right, pal. Listen, you have yourself a wonderful day, Mr. Martin, and lots of love from me and the gang, Marty, and we'll talk to you later, okay, pal? Oh, hey, Marty, before you go, I was having some fun last night on LinkedIn, and Joe Fontana jumps in and says, "Is that Curtis or is that Christopher?" I'm like, "Fontana, get out of here, man. Just fuck off."
Fontana's a character, man. He's a fucking character.
Oh, I know. All right, Marty. We'll see you later, pal.
All right, I see y'all, man.
Yeah,
have a good look, brother.
You too.
All right, Marty's going to get out of here. Johnny, going to go for a piss, man?
Yep. Give me a few minutes, take a leak, and then I got another 10, 15 minutes to rock.
Beautiful. You get out of here. We'll go back on a few things to talk with you about. So you get out of here. We're going to reset the show here, guys. Back here, Mornings at 11 with Keith and Friends, hour 2. Yes, baby. Hour 1 went by in a fast one. Jimmy, I don't even know where hour 1 went. I had a whole stack of topics. Just a stack. Big stack of topics. And we only got to a couple of them. Speaking of topics, I got to tell you guys, before the show was going, I got threatened by Jimmy here that he was almost going to put the live button on because I've started a new routine before the show. I'm getting jacked up with I got these new headphones, right? So and I had some tunes in my ear and I was playing some Drake, some Massive, and I was just getting into it and I was singing and getting all rocking and rolling. And Jimmy's like, I'm gonna hit the button. I'm like, fuck, let's go hit the button. Let's hit the button. Maybe I'll sing for you guys one day on the show here. But listen, the first hour we had Josh Vernon joining us from Massachusetts. He's a fellow who's got a wonderful project that Josh the Triathlete, and he has worked on he is part of a project called the Do Wicked Good project. So I invite you guys to go find Josh Vernon over on Instagram. He's doing some great things. He's a triathlete. We also got into, guys, all you got to do is work out for 1 minute a day to have extensive benefits to your life. So get after it for a minute at least, guys. Listen, there's 720 minutes in a day. You can at least get out there for 30. And as Arnold Schwarzenegger says, a minute is going to do nothing but power. I have I'm just looking here. I'm looking here at a message here. I'm going to so listen, I'm just I got a great message here, guys. I want to share it. I want to share it with Mornings Nation here, Johnny. And we'll leave the name attached to it off, but I just want to share the kind of impact we're having out there with folks, Johnny. And I got a message here that says, I've read many books. I've talked with many people on how to succeed, helped many starting to make extra cash while getting in shape, while walking dogs and dog sitting. So he made extra money and lost weight. Had a customer started detailing cars in his driveway, lost weight and made extra cash. This fellow being a challenger for a bike club and being there for other bikers, so I've been there for them. I never had anyone to really talk to about business, training, motivation, my drinking, my fiance with pain pills, etc. But Johnny, this fellow says that here on this show, I feel welcomed. I feel a safe space. My words. I feel welcomed. And what I enjoy most about your show is it's different every day. So much motivation here. I'm getting to the point financially where I can get training with John. That is awesome.
Look at that.
That is awesome. And that is awesome. You know what I love about this man is that he says that there's so much motivation here. And I know what you believe and I believe is the same. We both don't believe in motivation. We believe in discipline. We believe in creating great habits. And we believe that great habits and discipline, motivation is the result of that. Yeah. Young man, you know who I am. You know who you are who sent me this message. I'm talking to you right now. You're not motivated, brother. You're just showing up with me and John every single day and you're instilling good habits. And those good habits are resulting in this natural motivation, Johnny. You know why, Johnny? Because he's getting up and he's creating movement. And as he gets up and joins us every single morning, that movement, what does it do? It creates momentum. And then what does the momentum do? It turns into motivation. And people don't even realize that the motivation doesn't even happen. It's just called stacking habits, creating discipline. Next thing you know, this motivation becomes this natural thing that happens, John Anderson.
You know, dude, this is inspiring stuff. And so what I'm going to do, I hope you're listening right now. If you're not, you'll figure this out pretty quickly. Text me his phone number.
I will.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna basically, I'm going to do more to help this gentleman continue his journey, whether he's financially equipped or not. I'm going to help him. Maybe we work together as coach client, a paid scenario later, but right now I'm going to get us something to move in the right direction.
Oh, that's awesome, Johnny. That's awesome. So friend, I see your comment there. You heard Johnny. Get in touch with me on LinkedIn, wherever you want to connect with me, and I'll connect you with John, and we'll get you sorted out, brother. But I love your inspiration. I love your desire to get after it, because that's half the battle. It's the want. The fact that you want to, that just tells John and myself that's I love when somebody wants something because, and then if they don't know how to get it, that's where the magic starts to happen, right? Because when you can remove barriers for somebody and see them achieving, because I see your clients, man, and I've said to you before, I can't imagine how you feel when you start with a guy that looks like this, and then you watch their journey and you see their picture a few weeks later and they start to look like this. Like, you got to be so fulfilled as a coach, as a man, as a human being.
Well, and the picture is kind of the short side of that. That's just the physical part. You know, it's the part that they're living a better quality of life. They're, you know, like I've had so many people that have come to me that they've gone to doctors for years because their sleep is so messed up, and I get them sleeping like a baby.
Yes.
I got a guy that's an anesthesiologist, so he works in the medical field.
Yeah.
And he's been having terrible sleep for a decade. I got him sleeping. He said he hasn't slept this good in 10 years. Yeah.
I'm really glad you reset what I said, because it's not about the picture, gentlemen. All the picture is a measurement mark. That's all that it is. And
it's just the positive exhaust.
Yeah. Thanks for reinforcing that, because it's not about the picture, boys. It's about what's happening on the other side of the picture. It's about making all those decisions along the way before you get in the camera every single day. That's what it is, right? So, we're not here to talk about the aesthetics of it. The aesthetics is the net result of it, but sleeping better, feeling better, shitting better. We're going to talk about shitting here in a second. That's what's most important, right? It's, the face of it, the picture is the gray. Okay, Brookie Bear, I see you, baby girl. She's leaving, Johnny. Brookie's out of here. So I got a picture of her. She's sitting on the couch watching you and I on the show right now, which is awesome. Brookie, you're awesome, man. Johnny, she's going to be a creator, man. I'm telling you, she might be taking over this whole thing one day. Who knows, man? She's
Look out, baby.
Getting out.
Look out.
But Johnny, listen, let's pivot over to this topic, which I got on the table here this morning as well, which is your poop schedule says a lot about your overall health, a study says. And we know this. Let's dig into this a little further. Your gut is screwing with you, literally. What your poo says about your performance and longevity. Let's talk about something no one wants to talk about, but everyone does. It's funny, Johnny, because nobody wants to talk about shit. We talk about it every single day here. And I laugh talking about it because it's linked to food and it's linked to activity. We need to go to the bathroom, boys. So it's okay to talk about going to the bathroom, right? And how often you go isn't just trivial. It's a marker of your overall health. If you're not going at least once a day, your body is struggling. The gut performance connection. Your gut isn't just digesting food. It's affecting your energy focus and long-term health. Toxins build up when you're backed up, making you feel like, well, crap, literally. On the flip side, going too much can drain your body of essential nutrients. The Goldilocks zone for your bowels, 1 to 3 solid bowel movements per day. That is the sweet spot. Too little, you're brewing toxins. Too much, you're losing nutrients. So how to keep your gut on track? Eat real food, like John talks about, fiber-rich fruits, veggies, whole grains, keep things moving, hydrate. John and Marty talk about drinking water nonstop. That is the lubricant to get the poo out of your body, boys. You gotta eat, you gotta drink lots of water. You cut the processed food, that bad food that kills a good gut bacteria. That gut check is sabotaging yourself. Bloating, gas, irregularity, that's your body raving a red flag. To fix
on the gut, let me just jump in real quick on the gut. Yeah. When your gut is in check, most people understand. So there's a chemical called serotonin, which is it's the brain releases this to keep us kind of level headed. It's that thing that gives us the overall feeling of wellness, like things are going to be okay. Right. And the people are put on all sorts of antidepressant medicine because they don't have enough of this. Right. What people tend to not understand is that the lion's share of serotonin is produced in the gut. So if your gut is turned upside down, there's a good chance you're missing about half of what you should be getting when it comes to your serotonin, which means you just kind of don't see the sun in your sky.
Yeah. I don't know.
So like when we talk about my clients, I don't tell them this until they're like, fuck, I just feel better. I feel this, I feel that. And then I explain this to them and they're like, oh my God, because you try to explain the stuff to them too early. They think you're fucking going Gandhi on them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we in society connect enough of our discussions with serotonin in the gut. I don't think we do we, Johnny?
No, I mean, that's a little known fact. Most people think it's from the brain, which is the truth. but the gut produces a lot as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you what produces a lot is seeds. We need seeds to make food. And John, there's a seed vault in Svalbard, Norway, that could save humanity, or it could control it. Could you imagine a global disaster? And I find it's ironic because right now the world, we live in a world which is limited, chaotic, right? But imagine a global disaster wipes out our entire food supply. Call Mike Smart because he's making smart farms. Imagine war, climate change, or some apocalyptic event that leaves crops extinct. So where do we turn? Well, you know where we turn, Johnny? The Svalbard Seed Vault. It's a remote Arctic facility built to store the world's most essential seeds. Did you know about this place, John?
No, but it's a great idea.
Yeah, there's actually a vault. It's literally like Noah's Ark, but it's in the side of a mountain. It looks like it's a structure, but it's not just about saving food. Now, the vault has stirred controversy and conspiracy and ethical questions since 2008. But what is it? It's tucked away in the Arctic. It holds over 1 million seed samples. Stored at minus 18 degrees, designed to last for centuries. A global backup plan in case local seed banks fail. But controversy is who really benefits. Who controls the seeds? Developing countries contribute.
That's crazy. We're not talking about money. We're not talking about oil. We're talking about seeds, man.
I know, right? And that's the controversy, which is okay. Because here's how it works, Johnny. So, you grow stuff over in Africa. I grow stuff over in Canada and the United States. We all pull our seeds, and I'm going to make an exaggerative point. We put them in the mail and send them over to the seed bank. Well, who controls it? So if shit goes sideways, can I get my seeds back? No, because they're here. Right. So, and what's interesting is that there's funding from billionaires that are funding this seed bank, which is okay. So does Bill Gates control the? I'm not pointing at Bill, but is it Bill Zuckerberg? Who's controlling the seed bank? Right. Climate threats. The vault itself has already been affected by warming temperatures. But why this matters? Biodiversity equals food security. Relying on few crops makes our food supply vulnerable. And local seed banks are just the real front line. The Svalbard Seed Bank is just the last resort. Public access, Johnny, is protected. Seeds should not be controlled by corporations. And what I find fascinating about this is that this vault, and you said it, brother, it's not just about science. It's actually about power. And you said it, right? We always think about money, power. But who controls the seed vault? Who controls the food? And you brought it up yesterday, which is, are we moving into a world where, the wealthy get to eat the good food and the unhealthy eat all the processed food? Well, this discussion sets the stage for a future where I control the food sources because I control the seeds, which goes back to what Mike Smart talks about. We need to get back to doing smart farming within our own residential and communities. It's fascinating to me, frankly.
It's funny, kind of a funny little side note story, right? So, because you're talking about getting down to like the nitty gritty, like survival of the fittest times, right?
Yeah.
So my middle daughter comes home from elementary school and she says, "Daddy, we learned about survival of the fittest. What happens if we have World War III and we go back to a survival of the fittest?" And I said, "Well, kiddo," I said, "you've been blessed with one of the better dads to have survival of this community, because I'll just lock you guys up, somewhere safe, and I'll go out and get whatever we need, because in this world of survival of the fittest, I'm going to be one of the top of the food chain here." And she was so calmed and relaxed. She brought this up to me right before bed. but it's crazy. You don't think about this stuff.
I know. Isn't it comforting as a dad? Let's just be a little vulnerable for a second here. Isn't it comforting as a dad when your daughter looks at you as a superhero and you know that you can just solve all of her problems? Even though it's not really maybe the truth sometimes, but it's just when you look at your daughter and you're giving her that comfort. Because
in those moments you are.
I know, right? And she's looking at you like, my dad's going to save me and everything's going to be fine. That's magical, isn't it?
Well, because then what you said, well, what about so-and-so? What about so-and-so? I said, okay, we'll have them live with us too. So she
that's pretty good. I'll tell you, because I know what, when I went through my divorce and my little daughter was 8 at the time, and And she said to me, and, you know, during the emotion of it all, she says, Daddy, will you be there to save me?
Yeah.
It just broke me. I said, I'll always be there to save you. Right. But it's just that connection we have with our daughters, right? Like, will you be there to save me? Right. So that's some powerful stuff. Johnny, before I let you out of the lab here this morning, I got one last thing I want to throw on the table. Rick Clody, I see you there, man. Come one, come all. Hey, John, that's what Rick's saying. And Rick, I hope I'm doing better with your last name, Rick. I'm just trying my best here, brother. But Johnny, scientists have identified a protein that can reverse muscle loss aging. Researchers at the University of Buffalo, New York, have found that overexpression of nanog, a protein, can help reverse muscle gain. So here's the scoop. I'm going to get you the scoop here.
Help reverse muscle gain?
Yeah. How a protein can help reverse a muscle. So here we go. A protein with the name of the fabled land of youth in Irishland has been proven to successfully stop the aging of skeletal muscle cells. The nanog protein, which has its origins in Turnog, a location in Irish folklore,
so we're talking about preservation of muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
The embryonic progenitors of muscle tissue, known as myoblasts, were overexpressed by the researchers. I'm going to try to keep this less sciencey, but the major characteristics of aging-related cellular depletion, nanog in particular boosts the quantity of multiple cells. So it won't make you 21 again, but it can help you build muscle like you still have a testosterone factory. How? It reactivates your muscle stem cells. It boosts energy, balance, and keeps your cells clean and functioning. So what does this mean for you, John? It says, imagine being in your 50s, 60s, and 70s and potentially even still moving like an athlete. Well, nanog isn't available yet. Here's what you can do now. And it goes back to our basics, my friend. Lift heavy. Keep resistance training, keep those muscle cells active, and bottom line, men, eat enough protein to keep fueling those muscle cells to grow. Yeah. So again, we always talk about, guys, details. And truthfully, gentlemen, I find stuff that's interesting for us to talk about in the morning. And these are one of those topics where I don't know if it really worked as well as I would have thought of. But the reality is this, guys, eat protein, eat lots of it, get moving, and don't overcomplicate it with the details.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Right, because the details
is easier to execute.
It really is. The details kill us too often.
We don't have an education problem. We have an execution problem. So don't get lost in the education. Just get lost in the execution.
Well, it's funny because that's the same challenge that entrepreneurs have, right? Which is, I got an idea. Okay, execute it. Oh,
yeah. It's anybody can sit on the toilet and think up cool shit to do. Like the guy that can wipe his ass and get up and do it, he's an entrepreneur.
Yes. Anybody can sit on the shitter and think of an idea. Getting up, wiping your ass, and doing it is the differentiator for everybody, isn't it?
That's it.
I like that. All right, brother. Well, listen, I'm going to walk you out of here. We're going to keep the show rolling here. I got Richie and Nakana joining me here in a minute to do the community corner. I'm going to get you on with your day here. What do you got going on today, brother?
I'm going to attack the day and just be listening to the body. When the body starts backing off on the throttle, I'm going to listen. And when the tank starts to get empty, I'm going to start listening so that I don't, hopefully at the end of the day, I feel better. But the bottom line is this is just a pain in the ass. You know, I mean, I'm a little low on energy. My dyslexia is kicking, but it just means that it's just they're not my best days, but it's another day I'm showing up and making progress. I appreciate it. I appreciate you showing up, my brother. I appreciate you making progress, and I will chat with you as the weekend goes on. Get some rest. Okay. Take care of your body and listen to your body. I'm actually holding you accountable. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, and don't fuck around with it, man. Trust me. That's it. All right, my brother. Have a great loop. Talk to you over the weekend. Take care. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here, guys. We're going to keep the show rocking and rolling here. We're going to bring in Rich and Akana here in a second. Jimmy, here's what I want to do, Jim. I want to get to our big topic right now about the future of content is live, baby. It's live. So we want to get that set up for us. Let's do that. Woo! Big show. Let me just see the topics we got to today. Jim, let's see the topics we got to today, man. Let's just see here. I'm going to pull up my screens. Hey, if you guys want to know what it looks like behind the scenes during the show, I'd invite you to go check out my Instagram channel.
Check out my LinkedIn channel. Just go anywhere. Threads, Blue Sky. These glasses, producing video content, producing pictures, producing live video. Oh, live? Yeah, we're going to talk live here in a second, but why the future of all of this is live. All you have to do, guys, look at Netflix. Just look around you. Just look around you of the world of content. It's easy to see the future. At least for me, it is. AI-generated content everywhere. Blogs, emails, static posts. It's all just starting to feel the same. We're going to talk about the power of live conversation in a minute. Jimmy, we got that. Do we got a gamma ready for the live conversation segment there, Jim? Or are we going without one here this morning? I think we don't. Okay, cool. All right, so listen, let's get after it here, guys. We're going to get after why the future, I believe anyways, the future is live. And I want to talk to you guys a few moments about this. How do you stand out in a world of AI-generated content? How do you stand out in a world of non-stop, easily created content? How do you do it? People making videos, podcasts, publishing. But how do we build real trust in a world where authenticity is under attack? How do you do it? I'll tell you how you do it. You go live. You go live. You start a live conversation. And let me tell you, boys, why live video is winning in 2025 and beyond. First, guys, let me just tell you this. Let me invite you to think about this. Live video builds instant trust. Now, here's the reality. Anybody can polish a script. Anybody can slap some edits on a video. Anybody can post it. Anybody can go to 11 Labs or Synthesia and make an AI-generated video. True story. But live, that's raw. That's unfiltered. That's real. People want to see the unedited version of you. That's what builds trust. When you make mistakes in front of the camera, when shit doesn't work out, how you respond when shit goes sideways, that's how you build trust. People know what gloss looks like. People want to know how you get to the gloss. So you might want to start with a live conversation. Second, live video. What does it do, guys? It creates real-time engagement. Listen. The only reason podcasts exist, here's something for you guys. The only reason podcasts have become as big as they are is because back when they launched the iPhone, we couldn't stream live content. We didn't have live radio on our podcasts. Why? Because the networks weren't there. So I was like, okay, we got to download all the content onto our devices, hard drives. Right? But just look to the past to look to the future. Did Netflix start out as a live streaming provider? No. Fuck, they were mailing you DVDs, like the hard drive, that hard media. And the Netflix moved over to on-demand, dropping us, binge watching, getting us all hooked. And then over the last year and a half, what's happened, boys? Netflix has become a live television provider. Oh, but Uncle Keith, I thought Netflix was on-demand video. Not live. So guys, all you got to look is around you to see what the future is. People want to engage. People want real-time engagement. When's the last time you watched a sporting event and did not engage on your phone with people around you? Really? Your audience doesn't want a one-way conversation. They want to interact. They want to ask questions. As a matter of fact, Netflix is making more content, which is passive because they know people watch content with their phones. They want to interact. Humans want questions. They want responses in real time. How do I know? My last business did that. We moderated live conversations. But moderation is out the window now, boys. It's live, unfiltered dialogue. That's why live streams get 10 to 20 times more watch time than static content. You draw people in, you have a conversation, you engage. People don't leave. People show up on the show, they don't leave. They hang around for 48, 52, 75 minutes. Live conversation. Because we're engaging with Rick Clody. Because we're engaging with Adam Holroyd. Because we're engaging with Amy Reinhart. We're having a live conversation. So consider it. Third, live creates conversation, not just content. You got to get out of this idea of creating content. Content is a commodity. What's the conversation? Conversation's unique. Conversations are dynamic. When I go live every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, when I go live, I'm inviting you. I'm inviting my community to be part of the dialogue, to be part of the conversation. That's how we, not I, That's how we build something bigger than just a piece of content. Everybody creates content. It's a commodity. But how do you build real connections? With a live conversation. Number 4, live creates community, not just content. People don't follow brands, they follow people. And when folks go live, it creates a space where that audience feels heard, seen, connected. That's how movements start, through a live conversation. And then finally, boys, live. Today, anyways, it's AI proof. Oh yeah, I'm not some AI-generated species. I'm a real human here. Old Uncle Keith, the handsome chief. I'm real. And I show you that I'm real because I show up every single day here live. And listen, I love AI as much as anybody. It helps me ideate. It helps me create this incredible business in front of you. It creates first drafts. It automates tons of processes to free up time. But it can't replace the energy, the charisma, or the human connection that the old handsome chief brings. My unique delivery, my personality, my unscripted moments. That's my advantage. And you know what, boys? Ears up. It's yours too. It's your advantage. Don't be scared of the live conversation. Embrace the failure. Embrace fucking up. Your audience will love it. Trust me. If you're not showing up live, you're already behind. You're behind the guy who hit the snooze button. So I would invite you to think about it differently. And I know what some of you are thinking, but I don't like being on camera. Guess what? Your audience doesn't care if you're perfect. You know what they care about? They care if you're real.
But what if I mess up, Uncle Keith?
That's the point. That's the whole fucking point. Mistakes make you relatable. Would you like if I was just
reading off a script and being mundane and just telling you what I wanted to do?
Or do you like when I fuck up? Maybe you will like when Marty's audio is not working because you know that it's real. And you know that from my point of view of my glasses, it's real. There's real happening here. Mistakes make you relatable. The other thing is, oh, but Uncle Keith, I don't know what to talk about. Really? Your audience will tell you. If you show up consistently, your audience is going to say, hey, how do I know? Because it happens here on the show every single day, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, mornings live with Keith and friends. All of you show up and you say, hey, Keith, let's talk about this. You heard our guests. We're talking about something every single day. But here's the reality. Ears up, boys. Live is no longer optional. No, it's survival. Attention today is the currency of business. Tomorrow, it's intention. Tomorrow's currency is intention. And in 2025, the quickest way to move your attention, to get your audience to create intent, is through live video. It's the fastest way to earn it. So I invite you, boys, to stop overthinking it. Stop hiding behind the polished posts. Stop hiding behind, I gotta wait for perfection. I'm almost there. No, you are there. Just press the fucking button and go live. I got you. If you fall, I'll pick you up. More importantly, if you fall, your audience will pick you up because your audience is already there. But here's the question, boys. Here's the question. Look in the mirror and ask yourself this. Are you? Listen, one last thing. We're going into an era where those that want to get in front of the camera and be live and those that don't are going to win. There is an incredible opportunity happening right now around live conversations that so many of you are missing. I invite you, consider it. It'll change your life. It'll change your business. Because listen, I invite you to consider this. If you start the conversation, you set the conversation. There you go. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right. Jeremy Cunningham. Yes, I see your comment, brother. The person who has made no mistakes never tried anything. I love that, Jeremy, because that is bang on, man. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Jim. We've been having the young man in the green room waiting for us for a long time. He's been patiently hanging out going, fuck, man, when's this guy going to stop talking? I hear about all this live stuff. Rich is like, I guess I got to do something live now because the guy won't stop talking about it. But Jimmy, let's bring in Richie Nakana to Live in the Lab with Keith and Friends. What is shaking my brother this morning?
Hey.
How are you, pal? Where are you joining me from today, Richie?
Pretty good. From London, England. I know it's morning out there, but it's afternoon here, so we're pretty much way past midday. So exciting.
Yes. So Richie, we celebrated you a couple weeks ago in the community corner on the Creator Spotlight, and we got you here today to celebrate somebody for us, which I'm quite excited about. Jimmy, if you want to put Richie's Creator Spotlight inside of my message here, that'd be great. Well, I'm just kind of kicking off here with Richie. But Richie, the question I like to ask everybody on the show, Mornings in Labs, Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help men get their day started, is this. The most important question you're going to be asked today, Richie. Trust me. It might even be the most important question you've been asked all year, Richie. What's your morning routine?
My morning routine? Wow, that's a very good one. Morning routine, I think the start of the morning, I think it just sets the tone for everything. My morning routine is the first thing in the case I have a glass of water, right? A glass of water. Do you want me to go on for that from then on, or just the very first thing that I
please tell me? Yeah, tell me your routine, brother. Yeah, what's your routine, my friend?
Yeah, it's just in case a glass of water, then just get on straight to deep work. Just start off with.
Nice. And what does deep work consist for you, Richie?
Yeah, my routine is start off with. It's just everything. I look at what is the project. So start off with, I call it the 2 Ps in my case, right? So you got the projects to start off with. So these are sort of like money later tasks. So I work on the projects first, then build up on the usual stuff after that. So these are kind of big projects that which are needle movers, we tend to sort of put off for the most part. So I work on those to start off with. When I know I've got clarity, I got more energy and all that kind of stuff. So the stuff I work on first, then from then on, that's when I would start working on, say, what I would call maybe money now tasks, which are maybe like engaging, being on creating my social media stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You said, can you elaborate on the 2 Ps, Richie? Would you say 2 Ps? What do the 2 Ps mean to you? Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, the 2 Ps, this is something I created. So 2 Ps is more like a project.
Okay.
So 2 Ps are projects and puzzles. Okay. I want to call the stuff that I'm pretty much navigating on a daily basis, almost like the BAU or business as usual kind of stuff. Those are puzzles, right? Things that at times we tend to put off. The projects are pretty much stuff that I might not see the results for in this minute, but I know they're going pretty much creating assets. You want to call it creating assets, right?
Yes.
That then will pretty much create that passive sort of like income into the future. So the kind of stuff I want to work on first, right? So those are the projects.
Yeah.
Knock those things out because those are easy to put off longer term because you won't see the immediate results from that. So I work on those kind of elements first. Then only later on do I work on what I call puzzles. Puzzles are stuff that I may be fighting, which are being pretty much reactive. Things that might be pretty much urgent, but not really important. So those are called them puzzles. So the 2 Ps principle that I use.
Very much in my world, I call them non-negotiables. So these are your non-negotiables every single day, right? These non-negotiables are what you do to get your day going. Hey, Rich? Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think the non-negotiables is pretty key because you need to have that. It's so easy to get sidelined and work on. Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to work on the stuff that does not really move the needle to start off with. And you spend time working on that and neglect the needle movers, which are creating assets, which are going to serve you best in the future.
Yes. Richie, before we get to the creator spotlight, to somebody you're going to be celebrating here, we're having a little bit of internet challenges with your connection here. Richie, could you set the stage? Where can folks find you? How can people find you and connect with you and learn more about Richie Nakana?
Can you see that again? Sorry, seems to be having connection issues here.
Yeah, we're having quite a bit of a delay here. Richie, where can folks connect with you? I'm going to get to the Creator Spotlight, but before we do that, where can folks connect with you, Richie?
Oh, that's the joy of life, right? Yeah, they can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best way, I think, to catch me. LinkedIn, Richie Uncanner. It's the best place to find me. Yeah, I'm always there, posting plenty of content there daily. Follow my journey. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Richie, has LinkedIn become your is that your pillar of content? Is that your home base?
Yeah, I love LinkedIn. I'm a writer. I'm an author, so I just love writing. So LinkedIn is just a natural thing for me, and it's so easy, I think, for me to create content and share my ideas. It's pretty much sharing my journey. And sharing, I think, your own personal story and your journey, I think, is so easy. You don't have to think too much about content. So that's the reason I love LinkedIn so much. So LinkedIn is my main platform.
Awesome. You said you're an author. How have you adapted as an author to the world of AI generated content, Richie?
Yeah, that is a very good question, because I think when I wrote my book, I think AI was not an in thing, right?
Okay.
So I think it's just adapting. Again, adapting to that is more about your story, right? I think when you have your own unique story right now, yes, as I just heard you earlier talking about how everything is so muddled with AI and all that kind of stuff. So there is lack of authenticity that is pretty much not very visible now. Talk about when it comes to content. But I think when it comes to your story, if you're telling your story, I think nothing beats that, because you are uniquely you. So I think for me, it's all about just telling my story, because everybody's journey is different, right? And so long as you're telling your journey, you're telling your story, I think that's what might differentiate everything from the AI kind of stuff that is kind of mudding the waters right now. Yeah, so I think it was easy for me in the case transitioning. Use AI as an assistant, not really as something that is driving everything.
Why do you think people struggle with their own story, Richie?
I think it goes back to being able to connect, clarity of purpose, right? Once you're clear on the purpose, I think it gets easy then at that moment in time to draw out that story of what you're trying to present. And I think that's where the lack of that clarity, I think, is a starting point. Get clear on what is the message you're trying to push across. How does it relate to you? How does it relate to you? Then you can draw that out. If you're just trying to sort of like push a story without knowing the purpose, that will be void. So it's about having clarity on the purpose. What purpose are you what are you trying to achieve? Say, being a LinkedIn, what is you trying to achieve on there? And what message are you trying to sort of like put out there?
Yeah. Excellent. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith Billis here, Rich and Akana here, Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your day started, not hit the snooze button. We are a live morning show for men. Listen, guys, you hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. You do it all year, you're 56 hours behind the guy that didn't. True story. So you get up, you got one of two choices. Not unless you got the morning wood, you got three choices. But get up, boys, get going, get after it, get movement. Movement creates momentum. You're hanging out with myself and Richie, and we're going to get into the creator spotlight, Jimmy. Let's get this thing set up here. And Richie, we celebrated you a couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, I want to have you on the show to celebrate somebody. You gave me somebody that we're gonna get after right now. And some people, Richie, tiptoe through life, playing it safe, sticking to the script, and then there are the ones who throw the script out the window and go all in. The fellow we're going to celebrate today, he's built companies from scraps of leather. He's lost millions in the .com crash. He launched a dueling piano bar in Salt Lake City, because why not? Yeah, let's just set up a dueling piano bar in Salt Lake. Let's just do that. And this guy also turned a garage business. Jimmy, ears up for this one. This guy turned a garage business into a $150 million brand. Who does that? We're not talking about Google. So Mornings in the Lab. Business Athlete Nation, I invite you to meet today's Creator Spotlight, Mr. Jimmy, drumroll please, screen up, Curtis Matsko. Curtis Matsko, serial entrepreneur, risk taker, and the kind of guy who doesn't just dream big, he lives big. Curtis is the CEO of Portland Leather Goods, one of the fastest growing brands in the apparel and accessory space. And according to Richie, he's not done yet. This guy's building, scaling, and deciding if he'll take a 10-figure exit or just keep going. But let's be real. Curtis isn't here to blend in. Nope. He's here to push the limits, break rules, prove that business is a game meant to be played at full speed. And from the outside nation, it looks like it's unstoppable success. But here's the thing. Here's what's quite exciting about this journey. And Richie talked about journey. 12 years ago, this guy was at rock bottom. Yep. Lost in a sea of empty bottles. And now, nation, this guy's living proof that no matter where you start, you can rise up. Curtis Matsko isn't here to be relatable. No, baby. He's here to be unignorable. And if you're ready to stop standing on the sidelines, this guy's going to be the first to tell you. Get moving, get in the game, and don't settle for the ordinary. Rich Nakana, why did you choose to celebrate Curtis Matsko this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends?
Yeah, we're talking about stories earlier, right? In the case of Curtis just has an amazing story. In the case you just talk about persistence. This is a guy who came who was sort of rock bottom just over 10 years ago. And just to come out of this and to create this business you've actually created. I connected with him just not very long ago, and he's just got an amazing story. So I just had to give him a shout out.
Nice. Well, listen, thanks for shouting out to our creator spotlight today, Curtis Matsko. Curtis, here's how it works, my friend. Now that Richie has celebrated you, we would love to have you on the show so that we can celebrate somebody in your orbit. So Curtis, the invite is out. Officially, we're inviting you to the lab so you can take the place of Richie and celebrate somebody to pay it forward on the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner Creator Spotlight. There we go. All right. Richie, thanks, man. That was awesome. Hey, how did you and Curtis meet?
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, how did you guys meet?
Curtis, I think, was LinkedIn. That's the beauty of LinkedIn, right?
That's exactly the beauty of LinkedIn.
That's the beauty of LinkedIn. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So about having conversation. Yeah, he reached out to me and he just had this amazing story. So
that's awesome. All right. Okay, Jim. Well, listen, we're gonna walk Richie out of the lab here, and we're gonna work towards wrapping up today's show here. But before we do that, Jimmy, I want to do our 8 common fears that men have of making the commitment. Before we do that, we're gonna walk Richie out. Richie, what do you got on the agenda today, brother? I know your day's working towards over. It's 2-3 o'clock there in London. What do you got going on for the rest of your day today, Rich?
Yeah, I just got some projects. I got a couple more meetings, I think, to go to. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah. Looking forward to actually getting to the weekend and crashing it.
Awesome. All right, Rich, well, listen, my friend, how can people connect with you? They can find you on LinkedIn, correct?
LinkedIn is the best way to find me.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen, Nation, Business Athlete Nation, Mornings Nation, you can connect with Richie Nakana on LinkedIn. Richie, thanks for joining us today on the show. You come back again sometime?
Appreciate, definitely. Hope we've got a better connection next time around.
Awesome. All right, Rich, you have a great day, brother.
Awesome. Right. Appreciate it.
All right, Thanks. So Rich is going to head out of here, guys. And Jim, producer Jimmy on the buttons. Let's see here. Do I got spam or is it a legitimate? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. I got folks offering me jobs. Those spammers that just, hey, you want a job? No, I don't want a job. No, I don't want to make money. Nope, don't want to make a job. Nope. So, Jimmy, I decided we're going to stay focused on something here today. And the focus is going to stay on 8 common fears. Yeah, yes, you men. That's how I kick the show off. 8 common fears that men have of making a commitment. We kicked the show off today, which was the reasons that Men are reluctant to commit to relationships. So put something together here for us to chew on this morning. And why commitment freaks so many men out? Jimmy, we know how we are, man. We get all freaked out about shit. And it's not just about you. No, this is the fear that nobody talks about. Have you ever felt that wave of panic when things get so serious? Like, oh my God, relationship's getting serious. Life's getting serious. Oh, she wants more from me. You're not alone, boys. You're not alone. Commitment isn't scary. It's what we think it means is what scares us. Because we worry, boys, that when we commit, we worry about losing our independence. You built a life you like, and commitment feels like you're losing it. But the reality is, boys, the reality is, Jimmy, the right partner makes life better, wider, more full, not smaller. So don't worry about losing your independence. Worry about moving forward and seeing commitment as a growth, not as a trap. That trap might be holding you back. Number 2 on our list of 8, you're afraid of failing. Well, Jimmy, we talk about it all the time. What do we talk about, Jimmy? We got to walk towards failure. We got to embrace failure. We learn through failure, right? Maybe you've seen relationships fall apart. Maybe you've been through it. I've been through it. I've been through a divorce. I've been through failed relationships. But the reality is, gentlemen, failure is part of every great thing. Business, endurance, athletics. We talked about with Josh Vernon today. Fitness in the gym, relationships. You got to move forward. Don't let the fear keep you from trying to move forward, boys. Don't. Because failure is inevitable somewhere in your journey. The quicker you embrace it, the quicker you win. Number 3, boys, you're not sure you found the one. Oh yeah? Where you looking? Where are you looking? What if there's someone better? What if she's not good enough? But here's the reality, boys. Great relationships are built. We build them. We create them. You don't just find them. Oh, look under the rock. There she is. There's my girl. Really? You think Jimmy went and found his girl under the rock? No, he built it. You think I went and found my girl under the rock? No, every single day I actively build my relationship with my beautiful wife, Lauren. You got to move forward. You got to choose to build something real. Number 4, boys. Oh, and here's one I think many of us struggle with. You've never had to open up like this before. Right? You're stoic. You're not supposed to share your emotions. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to tell somebody you love them. You're not supposed to emote because men aren't taught to talk about emotions. Oh, no, baby, don't be emotional. Nope, don't be emotional. Nope. Jimmy, put that Kleenex away. Really? Boys, really? The reality, true strength is being real. It's being real. Move forward, boys. Start small. Build with your partner and build trust. All right, number 5. Number 5, you guys. You don't want to get hurt. You're like, I don't want to get hurt. Nope, don't want to get hurt. Nope, don't want to get hurt. Listen, I get it. I get it. Empathy. I'm going to be empathetic with you, boys. Maybe you've been betrayed before. Maybe something's gone sideways. But the reality is avoiding that pain. Well, it just might mean avoiding that real or that next connection. Is that what you really want? So I invite you to consider this. Maybe you want to consider moving forward. Maybe you want to consider that trust, but maybe just don't ignore the red flags because you don't want to get hurt. But avoiding that pain more than likely is going to mean avoiding that real connection with that human you desire. The next one on our list of 8 things that men don't want to commit to in a relationship is that you feel like you need to be more first. Guys, we talk about it all the time in this show. I'm just got to dot the I's and cross the T's before I'm ready to launch my product. Or I'm just about ready to launch my business. Or when I get the better body, or when I get the bigger paycheck, that's when something's going to happen. That's when I'm ready to commit. When I get to the right waist size, That's when I'm feeling better about myself. No, it doesn't work that way, boys. The reality is growth never stops. Your waist size, your paycheck is going to change over time. Accept it. Build while you grow. Progress over perfection, right? Progress. Build it. Next one, guys, you've seen too many men lose themselves. You know, the guy who became just a husband, just a dad. Guy's just a dad, just a dad, he's just a hubby. Here's the reality, you guys. The right partner adds to the identity, doesn't replace it. No, move forward, communicate, don't escape. And here's the final one, guys, is you're not sure you can handle the responsibility. Gentlemen, if this is your issue, go look in the mirror. Because commitment means showing up. And you know it. But even when it's hard. Relationships that you think that, oh, hey, I love her, she loves me, it just happens. It doesn't work that way, boys. No, you got to show up every single day. It's hard. And the reality is, if you can show discipline in other areas, you can handle a committed relationship. So I invite you to consider this. Move forward. Consistency over grand gestures. Consistent 7s over a 1 and a 10. But the bottom line is this. Commitment isn't losing freedom, boys. It's not losing identity. It's not losing ambition. It's honestly choosing to build something meaningful. And that's not something to fear. From my experience, gentlemen, that's something to step into. So there you have it. If you're sitting back here scared of committing to that woman you're madly in love with, to that man you're madly in love with, to that partner that you really want to connect with, but you're scared of the idea of commitment, I invite you to reconsider it. Don't worry about losing your independence. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry that you haven't found the one. Don't worry that, I've never opened up like this before. Don't worry about getting hurt. It might happen. Walk towards the pain. And don't worry about feeling like you need to be more first. I got to get a better waist. I got to have more money in my bank account. I got to have a 6-pack. No, the growth never stops. Don't worry about losing yourself. Having a partner in your life betters yourself, adds more to yourself instead of taking away from it. And the last one, boys, is don't worry about not handling the responsibility. When you are in a committed relationship, it goes from 1 to 2. And in my experience, I becomes T. It becomes a team. That responsibility, it's shared with the two of you. Get up, get after it, be disciplined, communicate, and watch the magic happen. There you go. That is your little bit of advice from Uncle Keith on your commitment phobia this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Jim, we're at the 2-hour mark. I think it's time to get the hell out of here. I'm doing a little recap of our show here today. What have we got after here today, guys? And I got to tell you, very, very encouraged by the feedback we got from one of our listeners today that really, really enjoys the different type of content we drop here on the show every single day. Try to keep it fresh for you guys. Listen, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want some behind-the-scenes content, you can find it over on Instagram. I'm over on X. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. We are socially available across all of the platforms. We do our live show here in the morning. We chop it up and distribute it across all the platforms. You can stay connected with us with content, advice, conversations to help you get through your day. Content that makes you pause. Conversations that make you consider. That's what we do here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. So wrapping it up, Jim, just going through our agenda here today. We got through a number of topics here today, guys. We kicked off the show with Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about the idea that all you need is 1 minute, guys. You have a minute to get yourself moving today. You do. Science shows you get a minute going, your likelihood of death reduces considerably. We also talked about that scientists have identified a protein that can reverse muscle aging loss. We talked about your poop schedule, saying a lot about your overall health. We know that, gentlemen. Get your water in. keep the deep cheeks lubricated so that poop can get out quite easily, get that water in, boys. Keep hydrating. That's the key here for sure. We also talked with Josh Vernon. Josh, the triathlete, talked about all the great work that he's doing. We got into conversation about 8 common fears that men have of making a commitment. We just wrapped up the show with that. And we talked about the Svalbard Global Seed Vault and why it's so controversial. Listen, growing up in a world where maybe it's not money or power that is ultimate control. It's who owns the food population. It's who owns the food seeds. And then, of course, we wrapped it up with some commentary on the future of content is live conversation. That's why we do what we do here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And then we wrapped it up with the community corner, Rich Nakana, who is here to celebrate Curtis Matsko here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Okay, well, listen, that's it. That's the end of today's show. We wrapped it up. We got a 2-hour show in the books. A lot of content made today. A lot of great conversations made today. And I'm going to start turning the tunes up here. No, not that one. We're going to get that one. You guys know that sound effect. So listen, everybody who's tuning in, on behalf of myself, I'm Keith Billis. On behalf of C. Marty Fit, hanging out at Gold's Gym in Maryland right now. On behalf of John Anderson, who's getting his health back together over in California. On behalf of producer Jimmy on the buttons, Tommy in the community, Rich Nakana, Josh Vernon, Rick Clody, Jeremy Cunningham, Amy Reiner, my girl Brookie. To all of you that I missed, we'll see you guys Monday. You know where to find us. LinkedIn, X, YouTube, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The only live conversation to help you guys get your day started. Let's get out of here, Jimmy. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Have a good one, nation.